And it's just simply an interview with you, just to get a bit about your background, what it is that you do for the SFM, and I guess if in any way you can offer any, I guess, ideas on what it's like to be an entrepreneur, stepping into this space, that sort of thing. And yeah, I guess just share your experience at the end of the day. So I haven't hit record. We are actually recording this, are we?
Yes.
You're recording it. Okay, fantastic. So yeah, the whole idea was just to, yeah, I guess get your perspective. I might, for the sake of the audience, just share a little bit about myself very quickly, and then I'll hand it over to yourself, and I'll probably throw in a question here and there. So, from my perspective, I joined the SFM about, I think it was the end of 2018. I live in the southwest of Western Australia. I'm a father to 2 children. I'm recently a grandfather. My oldest daughter has had her first child. Very exciting times. And yeah, just live in a small farming community in the southwest of Western Australia. And here I'm talking to you over there on the other side of the world in the UK somewhere. So, but look, less about me and more about you, Mark. I guess, as I mentioned earlier, the point of this call was to really just give those listening some insight into your world, where you've been over the last number of years, a bit about your background prior to joining the SFM, and I guess where you sit today, and what that entrepreneurial journey has been like for you.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity of speaking to you about this. The entrepreneurial journey for me has been fantastic, but I would change the words in the sense that the entrepreneurial journey for the people we can connect with, we can really help them with that, because we'll only then get what we have come to get out of this, the goals that we have, by helping those. So it's really an entrepreneurial journey, I would say, for others rather than for ourselves. So, but it has been really, truly fantastic. I've always had within me this burning desire to run my own business, and that wasn't at one time necessarily just from home, even though we get more freedom doing it from home, I think, with fantastic internet, what it provides to us. But it really came out of me way back in 1996, where for 10 years after that, I then ran an agency, an entertainment agency that was called the Space Roadshow, because I'd had a cause to go 4 or 5 times a year over to Gran Canaria, where my mother used to live with my stepfather. Stepfather's passed on now, but mum's not very well, but she's back in England. But I went into this nightclub called Space in Puerto Rico, in Gran Canaria, and got talking to my brother and a friend who was with us at the time, looking at what the DJ was doing and looking at various acts that he was introducing. And I, bands and singers and different things, and thought, well, we can do that back in England. And I'm not really connected to music, because I've just spent, like, at that point in time, a good 19 years. I still work for a further 10 years in the law, but at that point in time, I'd done about 19 years in the legal profession in the United Kingdom. I'm a qualified solicitor, I'm a qualified lawyer, passed the Law Society finals solicitors examinations. And I really wanted to transition out of that and have my own business. So on the side, if you like, but I ended up doing that for 4 or 5 gigs a week. I got into this entertainment agency and called it the Space Roadshow, after the nightclub where we'd all, come up with the idea.
Wow.
And that was very successful, highly profitable. I was putting out 4 shows a night at one time. And it included organising Ozzy Osbourne from Black Sabbath's 50th birthday party at the National Exhibition Centre in Birmingham, when I had a phone call one time from his agents to do that. He'd finished his Black Sabbath gig at the National Exhibition Centre, and then he was brought into this room where a surprise party was set up with all his rock friends. And Ozzy knows how to party, so 6 o'clock in the morning, I managed to get myself out of there, and that will live in my life as as part of my entrepreneurial journey you've asked me about, it was quite a quite enjoyable, significant moment when you look back at what you achieved in your entertainment business. But I mean, I originate from Bourneville in the United Kingdom, the place that's known for having Cadbury's chocolate factory.
Oh, yes. Yep.
And I lived all my childhood years more or less next to the Cadbury's chocolate factory. So on a summer's morning, you could actually smell the chocolate from the house. So you got like addicted to the smell. My mother worked at the factory and used to bring chocolate home on a Friday evening, and that was our Friday evening diet. Ran the coal fire and that was Friday evening was always family time, talking about events of the week, and sit around the fire with mum and dad and my brother and my sister, and eating the chocolate that mum brought home from the Cadbury's chocolate shop. So I was brought up in Bourneville, United Kingdom, and then unfortunately in my teenage years, I was 16, mum and dad got divorced, dad a bit too much to drink. I lived independently, and then soon after that got myself a job in the magistrates courts, Birmingham magistrates courts, collecting the fines, and then worked in all these various managerial roles up until the age of 24, and got myself into all these different offices, all these different positions, all these different promotions, so that I could eventually be trained up to be a trainee legal advisor and work in the courtroom with the magistrates, giving them advice on law, practice and procedure. And I was like a pecking order, so I was in line. I knew it was going to be, I reckon, when I was 24, 25, to be sent off to law school, and sure enough it was. And I went to Bristol, Manchester, Wolverhampton, Birmingham, all around different places in England. I got sent off to law school, got a promotion to trainee legal advisor, eventually ended up as senior legal advisor. I've been a judge in family proceedings, sitting alone without magistrates. I've dealt with children going into care, abusive, how children have been abused emotionally, physically, sexually, in many different ways. I've dealt with care orders. I've dealt with disputes between parents when they're fighting over the custody of the children or wanting to have contact to the children. I wrote a paper on adoption law. I was the adoption lawyer within the West Midlands in the UK at one time. I've written out a whole court process to create what's called an asset recovery court, to take criminals back into court once they come out of prison for not having paid their confiscation orders. So created an asset recovery court. But all that sounds great, but I had this burning desire to be free, rather than being cocooned in a courtroom between 9 and 5 and have a boss who... I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be able to travel more. I ended up getting married and divorced myself, and I wanted to have as much time as I could with my son. I wanted to explore the world, and I also wanted to follow the passion that I have for cricket. In my school days, I was the number one batsman in the school. I was at George Dixon Grammar School, and I used to love putting the ball over the school roof and losing all the balls. And I just got good at cricket and felt that perhaps would be my career, but I ended up as a lawyer and entertainment agent before I hit my days with the six-figure mentors. And anybody that's looking at this right now, don't just look at it. It has been quite life-changing. So with that end of the spectrum, I didn't join that until I was 50 years of age.
Wow.
On the back of a 29-year career in the law and 10 years in entertainment that I left behind in 2006 after my father died. And if there's one message I think to give the people who's looking at it with you, is nothing's going to change unless you take action, so nothing's going to change unless you change. Because if you've not got out of life at the moment what you want out of life, you're looking to be this bigger person, have a bigger life, you want to achieve various goals, and what you're currently involved in is not actually doing that for you, well then unless you change that, you're going to get the same result. So if you want different results, you've got to step out of comfort zones and move into other areas, and you won't really know whether that will be a success or not. But what you need to do is upskill and learn new things. And affiliate marketing is most definitely, and working with the six-figure mentors, one solution that can give you the freedom that you may be seeking and enable you to make those changes, but you're going to have to work and learn new schools and learn new skills and go back to school, go back to the academy. So I'll talk more about that in a moment. But as I said, I wanted to do it myself. I wanted to break free of the court so I could not only have more time with family and friends, but I could travel, as I have now done, the world extensively and watch the England cricket team. It's not for everybody, but you've got your own reasons to mind why you might want to have more freedom. So, I've got...
because quite often when we've had previous coaching calls and things, you've been in different locations around the globe, and yes, of course, you've been talking about following the cricket. So it's lovely to see that someone's able to do that.
I've been to Sydney. I've been around various places in Australia. I've been to the Great Barrier Reef. I actually have a 2 cents of life from between the United. I've got a house here in the UK I've owned for 20 years that I have rented out for a while and taken back. I live between the UK and Cyprus, so I go backwards and forwards. I'm off to Cyprus this coming Sunday for 2 months. I can go 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 months, because you're not tied into the jobs that you had before, into that courtroom in my case. And really that entertainment business, I didn't see it in the way I see it now. That wasn't going to give me freedom because I was tied to the UK. So when you've got an internet business, something you build out online, you want to break free from your job, you can just basically obviously do it from everywhere and live an iPhone lifestyle or a laptop lifestyle or an iPad lifestyle or a life of travel. So I've been to South Africa. I go all around England watching the cricket. I've been to Australia. There's lots of other countries I could mention. I've been to to Barbados, to Antigua. I've been around the West Indies. Really, if I'd have stayed in my old, if I didn't make the paradigm shifts, I didn't work on myself. I didn't work on my mindsets. I didn't, made sure that I had belief in my own abilities to make the changes and do the work that was necessary in order to get the new life. If I'd have just stayed in the courtroom, I wouldn't have seen that. I think the countries that I have explored, because it's not just about the cricket, explored the countries while I'm there. And different cultures, lots of new friends around the world being made through our community as well. You've got to make the change. So my background is some 29 years in the law, working as a family proceedings judge at one time. So law, family law, criminal law. I dealt with anything from stealing a bar of chocolate to a murder, anything in between. So adoption law, family law, criminal law, adoption law, local authority law. I've been a licensing lawyer. What does that mean? Well, I've licensed public houses for the selling of the drinks and the food. I've licensed hotels, betting offices, various places. So I've been a licensing officer as well. I really enjoyed that job. They gave me a works car in effect and travelled around in the daytime inspecting places, dealing with plans. And I'm not here to spend all my time talking about that. You want me to get on to talk about the six-figure mentors, but when you ask me about my background is where I came from. But with all of that, I could have stayed doing that until I retired and picked up less income in my retirement than I'd been used to all my life. I mean, if you want, but I could have just done that and been happy doing that. But I realised I wouldn't be. Life for me, life is not just about going to work, making money and paying the bills. Life is about being happy and fulfilled and not making it all about the money and living with passion and purpose. And I think the more we can connect to that rather than just, I need money, and what should we be doing in life that's going to be making us really feel happy and fulfilled and living this purposeful life, then if we can connect to what that is, know what our brand and purpose is, and we're prepared to make the shifts, make the changes, and not sit in the conditioning of what we've been doing before, and just open the door and be awake to the possibilities, then somebody like you who is putting opportunity in front of people, then if they take it, then they're going to have to do the work that's necessary to gain the new skills, to get the new life. But I'm evidence of the facts that it purely works. If that's what you're asking me for, I'm not here to. You got to go on the journey.
And that's what I was going to ask you. You brought up a number of different things there. For you, since making the switch from the law profession and across into this realm, the ratio between doing the work and mindset, what have you spent more time on?
Both.
It's probably a loaded question, but
I think at the front end, we're focused on getting the money to replace the income we've got if we're stuck in the job we don't want to be in.
yeah,
And that can be quite drowning. That can be quite. It's not really self-serving. It's not going to serve you having those thoughts. And the issue that I had when my father died in 2006, of lung cancer. I wanted to make sure that if that was potentially in the future, what might happen to me, I don't know. It woke me up. It was a wake-up message. So I looked at really living a life more than just for money, and how many and more I think we can live a life that's not about us and how we can help others, the more we can be happy and fulfilled. And so when I connected to that, I had a realization: I've got to work on myself. You're conditioned to do the entertainment contracts, law, loads of money, you're okay. You don't need to change. That conversation's going on. But when I saw Dad passing on and realised, oh my God, could that happen to me? Do you want to just stay doing what you're doing, or do you want to make changes? So when I had that realisation, and then had Jay Kubizek, from co-founder of Digital Experts Academy, connecting to me and saying to me, you're not really going to go anywhere. Okay, financially you might, but you're not going to be this bigger person unless you work on yourself. And he used to contact me every Wednesday nights, and he helped me get off to the Landmark Forum. And it was from that point in time, in probably when was it? Around 2011, 12. I started to think more about others than myself. I started to think more about my brand, my purpose, what am I called to actually do? And I think the answer to your question is a long answer, because you've asked a lawyer, right? The answer simply is both.
Yep.
Don't be so given to others that you neglect one of the 5 things that leaders do, which is the income producing. You've got to do the income producing and help others and work on yourself. I think it's both. You need to work on your paradigm shifts. You need to work on your mindset as much as you do on your income producing activities and gaining new skills and upskilling. So I've basically gone from law, entertainment, a young lad living in Bourneville, Birmingham, United Kingdom, loving cricket, hated school, just want to play cricket, to walking into an unemployment exchange at 16, living independently after mum's divorce, getting myself a job in the magistrates' courts that eventually led to me becoming a qualified UK lawyer. Could have just played cricket, I suppose, but I went in. I don't know what. I don't know. It was never. You were never going to be able to live off cricket at that time. So I just walked in to the unemployment exchange and got a job. I didn't even know what I was doing, what I was even looking for, and I just saw this card on the board and looked at it, and job in the magistrates' courts. I said, "Oh, that will do. That'll be okay. I'll do that. That's okay. That'll be good." And look what happened. And 29 years later, I had quite a good career in many ways. A trainer and everything. But then when Dad died, I didn't come straight into the 6-figure mentors. I've been in the 6-figure mentors Digital Experts Academy for 9 years, and some of the best years of my life. The community that we have, it's been very transformational. But prior to that, I sunk all my money into buying 21 houses. The money that I'd acquired from my legal job and from my entertainment business, I buddied up with a lady magistrate friend, and we bought 21 houses. And I suppose you could say we housed the homeless, because we put tenants into our house who got no financial, they hadn't got the money really to be able to buy a house themselves or get mortgages or anything, and they didn't have jobs to basically rent a house or anything, and so they were on social security with the local authority. So many landlords aren't prepared to take that type of tenant, but me and Liz did because of our social awareness, call it as you wish. We've done it, and we still do to this day. And so that business is running as I speak to you. It's been going for the last 14 years. And when Dad died, me and Liz had a chat, and I quit the law and I quit my entertainment business. I didn't quit it because I'd got it to where it needed to be. So it wasn't quitting. I achieved my goals, I think, through it. I said to myself, do 1,000 gigs and you're going to retire from this. So I stood on stage, and it was crazy how it happened. But the very last gig that I did was in front of 200 lawyers. I danced them away, a dance floor full all night long, and I brought in bands and singers and all sorts of things. And then I just got a round of applause at the end, and they were shocked to hear that this is it. It's the end. I'm retiring. I'm giving you notice. Don't book me again because you can't. And then I sold all my equipment. I made it. When I make that decision, I sacrifice. So I actually, not sacrifice, wrong word, sabotage. So you can't go back. So I got rid of all my equipment and got rid of the lot. But I've kept 30,000 records.
Wow. It's probably worth a tidy sum today.
So I left that business behind. I had 50 contractors on my books. They weren't employed by me. They were people I reached out to. They were all self-employed. That had good relationships that still go on today. I can connect with those as I wish today. Left the legal job behind. Told my boss, Clerk for the Justices, on my birthday way back in 2006 that I'm not coming back. And he says, well, what about some notice? I says, this is it. I'm not giving you notice. I'm walking out. And then bought the houses, ticked those over. Don't really live off that as such, because I find that renting houses is, we've helped a lot of people, but it creates an expense account. And if you were to say to me, in the United Kingdom, shall I buy a house at the lower end of the market, around 80, 90, 100,000 pounds, and rent it out for 3 or 4, 500 a month, I'd say no, because there's too much expense that comes with it. There's too many maintenance issues. If you've got mortgages in particular, you've got that cost, and then you've also you got the government bringing out all these fees on an ongoing basis, and so your margins are being absolutely squashed. That realization, having got into that business and got rid of all my money into that business to buy the houses, is what made me realize I need to look on the internet for something. The internet, this is back in 2011 for me. It isn't where it is today. The internet is developing so fast with all these apps and different things, and AI and everything. So I just looked around and found what we call a landing page from Stuart Ross, and telling me how much money he was making from affiliate marketing over 6 months. So my need at that time was for income, because I'd basically gone from abundance to nothing. So I sort of joined the Six Figure Mentors way back in May 2011. And if anybody's looking at this, you've got to make your own decision. I was driven by the need to have money. I wasn't in a job at that time I wanted to get out of. I was running a property business that wasn't giving me an income. And so that drove me to sign up. That was my need, but realizing soon after that, as I've said, that you got to not only do the income producing, but work on yourself and do a lot of paradigm shifts. And in summary, make sure, I think, we're living with, as I've said earlier, with passion and purpose, and stay the course, because this community is fantastic. Fantastic is not a word that's enough for it. And the company next week are bringing out the Mentors platform. And if you're sick of Facebook and being advertised to on it, you go to Facebook, you get you get adverts. If you go to YouTube, you get adverts. All these platforms will go around around the world, you know, from our homes on our laptops, and we sign into all these platforms, we get adverts thrown at us. Well, we're creating the Mentors program where we have our own community Facebook in a way where there's no advertising, and we can all be mentors and all help each other. Everybody's got something to bring to the table. And so what do you have to bring to the table? So that's to you. I think you're on, I think if it's been shared with this gentleman's, Jason's list, then what have you got to share? How do you want to help others? You're going to have the opportunity through a mentors platform to do this. I think you're going to be able, the logarithm is going to be watching how many times you interact. And I think there's various levels you can get to, and some of them will be income producing by just simply helping others within the community without having adverts thrown in your face. So that's coming next week. But then when I joined back in 2011, I sort of made money as an affiliate doing content and getting into blogging and article marketing and writing articles and distributing them around the internet, and then connecting with people through question and answers websites and forums. And it was quite heavy on the workload, but you've got to really be prepared to put in at your front end of your new business a lot of time. And if you're doing paid marketing, obviously more money. But I have to tell you, for the last 9 years, the life I've had, I wouldn't have had that without joining the Six Figure Mentors in the first place. And I've done the work. To do the work, stay the course, don't quit. Because if you quit, you might have just, your goals that you're looking to achieve might be just around the corner, and you just turn yourself back in on them. Where I am at the moment, I got into all this blogging. I made elite sales within 4 months. I have been, a top affiliate for the company. I've done talks from stage. I've won MacBook Pros. I've won mini Mont Blanc pens, mini iPads. I've been on leaderboards, but really I've come to the realization that my purpose is to loyally step up for others to help them achieve their inner peace. And so whilst my own journey is my journey, people want to know how we can help them. And what they want is a leader to show up to help them achieve their goals. And so the more you can position in doing that and have a happy and fulfilled life in doing so, then much the better. Don't make it just about the money. But with the affiliate success, I had my own level of success, and we all have different levels of success, and success isn't just financial. I had a phone call back in around February, March 2015 to go to Jay Kubizek's former house in New Jersey. And whilst there, I was offered the role of helping them build out what is now known as the mastermind experience, because I love to get involved with processes and systems and take something from nothing to something, like I did in the courts with my asset recovery court and other things and adoption papers. And since for 5 years now, 5 years, I've been working on helping the company develop the mastermind experience. And so the Digital Experts Academy came into being in September 2012, and I was the first member to sign up to that by taking money out of my houses and investing in black at the time, the first one. I've loved it. I've been taken around the world, various places. I'm the mastermind experience liaison. I work with the likes of yourself and hundreds of others, month in and month out, organising various mastermind groups, speaking with members one-on-one, coaching, mentoring them, being the mastermind experience liaison, taking them through their own unique support network that we work out with them, giving them opportunities to attend, as I say, the various mastermind groups that we put in place. But all prior to that, from 2011 to 15, and continue to do some of that 16 and 17, I was also doing the affiliate marketing whilst building this out. But I'm now fully invested 100% of my time through the week into keeping this together and helping them develop the mastermind experience. So had I stayed up with my blogging, obviously I think that would be at a much higher level to where it is, but I made the choice to give back in this way and take up the opportunity that was offered to me by the company. Do you want to be on the team, and do you want to help us build out the mastermind experience? Otherwise, I would have stayed as affiliate marketing. Now, anybody looking at affiliate marketing, first of all, know what that is, and that's the beauty of that. You haven't got to create your own products, and you haven't got to be involved in all the fulfillment or anything. You can just learn marketing and sell other people's products and services for the commission. But use it as a training ground, as your apprenticeship, because you don't know, when you go through the journey and you get connected to what you're about, your brand and your purpose, you may then want to create your own business, in other words, your own products and services. So if you've learned marketing beforehand, before you do that, then you're in a better place to make your future business work. So we've got fantastic resources, fantastic mentors in this company, fantastic coaches, thousands of virtual trainings. The Six Figure Mentors platform is your digital training ground, full of everything to do with your not just marketing. There's literally lots of different curriculums. The Digital Experts Academy has different levels to it, where you're able to learn about Amazon, doing Amazon FBA, which is learning a business to do with selling products on Amazon. Other product line is all about helping you become a professional digital marketer and taking you through all these various certification courses. And then you've got branding. You've got branding, a brand incubator that we do. So we look at your personal brand, your purpose, your vision, your mission, your aims, and then you get to me to talk through your mastermind experience and create that experience with you. So I'm gonna shut up now. I can't. Yeah.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's been fantastic. I guess I will probably start to wrap things up a little bit, but I just want to say thank you very, very much. I mean, guys, if anyone's listening to this for the first time, Mark is just an absolute gem within the organisation. He's poured a lot of hours into me thus far, and I'm sure there's a few more to come. He's doing this off the bat for just because of the kind-hearted guy that he is. And but being around this environment, he's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and just a shining example of someone that you'll have access to if you decide to take the plunge and dive right in, as I did, and as Mark did, and as many others have done. So my hope is to be able to bring other leaders to you through these, I guess, these videos and episodes that I'm going to be doing. Mark, thank you once again. You're number one, you're episode number one, so that's exciting. And I really appreciate it. Is there any final thoughts? I mean, you've given us so much already, but any final thoughts to just wrap up this session to anyone that may be sitting on the fence a little bit?
Well, if you're sitting on the fence, that's where you'll sit. You have to take action. You have to make change if you want a bigger life. And it's scary. You've got lots of fears that you'll be working with. But just do it. It's worth it.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Mark. I really appreciate it.
Right. God bless you, man. Take care.
Thank you. Cheers. Take care.